Riverside Credit Union. Thanks for helping kids with swim lessons. Thanks, Cook Medical. Thank you for sending kids to camp. Thanks, EFC. We appreciate your support.
Thanks, Funeral Chapel. Thanks for making Bloomington a great place.
Thanks, Baxter. Thanks for helping Monroe County.
Thanks, Boston Scientific. We appreciate your support.
Thanks, Miss Bell, for letting people be members from the Y.
Welcome to the 2020 YMCA Ruby Gala. My name is Matt Osgood and I'm the Development Director at the Y. We want to thank you so much for being here this evening. We know it's a different way of doing things, but we're still going to have a great time. 2020 is a special year for the Y as it marks our 40th anniversary with a physical location at our Southeast branch. Tonight, we're going to celebrate that fact through stories and photos from the past. And as always, we'll raise money for our Y for All Scholarship Fund so we can be here serving the community for another 40 years. The first thing I'd like to do tonight is thank our sponsors. Sponsors are more important than ever this year, and they've stepped up in a big way to help us out. Our gold level sponsors are CFC, Cook Medical, and IU Credit Union. Our silver level sponsors are Baxter, Boston Scientific, The Funeral Chapel, and Smithville. Our bronze level sponsors are Bloomington Oral Surgery, Catalent, Comprehensive Financial Consultants, Republic Services, Singota Solutions, and Rob and Missy Santa. And our supporting level sponsors are Bill C. Brown Associates, Bloomington Meadows Hospital, Cardinal Spirits, Commercial Service, First Financial Bank, French Lick Resort, German American Bank, Green and Schultz Trial Lawyers, Jimmy John's, Christy Gibbs at KG Realty, Old National Bank, Dr. and Mrs. James LaFollette, Dr. John and Gada Laban, Marcy and Carl Cook. I'm excited to say we've already raised over $65,000 for Y for All in pre-event donations. Our goal is lofty. We're hoping to raise over $100,000, and we need your support. One way you can support us is by taking part in our online auction. Our premium package is a one-night stay at West Baden Springs in French Lick. This experience comes complete with dinner, spa services, and golf for two at the world-famous Pete Dye course. We have a great selection of high-end men's sports coats and jeans from Elevated Citizen, a hot air balloon ride, a one-night stay at the JW Marriott in Indianapolis, and so much more. Hopefully, you are comfortable with our auction software through GiveSmart, but if not, take out your phones, iPads, or computers, and the following video should get you set up. If you are having any problems, contact us at the number on the screen, and we will be happy to get you squared away.
How to bid with GiveSmart. In order to get started, you will need to register with GiveSmart. You'll be asked to provide your name, cell phone, and you may have the option to pre-swipe a credit card in order to expedite checkout. Once you have registered, you will receive a welcome text message which includes your personal bidding link. Be sure not to share this link with anyone else as it is directly tied to your account. Once you've registered, you will receive a text message with a blue link. Select the blue link to be directed to the items page of the auction site. You can view items by category or search for items directly. Select any item of interest to view the item's full description as well as the current bid and/or price. The system will auto-populate a bid amount based on the designated increment for all auction items. Select Bid to place bid at this amount or enter an alternate amount that is larger than the auto-populated bid amount and then select Bid. If your bid is accepted, a box will appear congratulating you as the leading bidder. If your bid is not accepted, a box will appear stating the minimum amount required in order to place the leading bid. You also have the option to place an auto bid. An auto bid enables the system to automatically bid up to a designated amount for you. The system will bid incrementally up to this amount as long as someone bids against you. If no one bids against your auto bid, the current price will remain. To place an auto bid, select the Auto Bid tab and enter the max amount you wish to bid, and then select Bid. If you're outbid at any time during the auction, you will receive a text message notification. A banner will also appear across each item that you bid on to indicate whether you are winning or losing the item. Now, you are ready to bid.
Thanks, iCredit Union. Thanks for helping kids with swim lessons.
Thanks, Cook Medical. Thank you for sending kids to camp.
Greetings, friends. Thank you for joining us online to celebrate such a special cause, helping our neighbors and our community through our Y for All program. You know, one of the many great things about the YMCA is our mission, and that is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. And our Y for All program truly is the heartbeat of that mission. You know, we're told in Scripture in Luke 3:11, it states, "Let he who has 2 coats share with him who has none." And while each of us individually may not be able to respond to every person in need, or we may not have the personal resources to solve that need, nonetheless, we can be part of the solution. I am so blessed. I get to sit at the Y and see the power of generosity every single day. And it's because of your willingness to share your time, your talent, your treasure, that our Y is able to do and impact so many lives. You know, it's hard to wrap your head around how many folks catch me in my office or around the facility or share with our staff a beautiful Y story they have. And whether it's them reflecting back on their first swim lesson or the first basket they ever made in Pee Wee basketball to maybe later in life when they speak of how much their kiddos loved Camp Arrowhead. Or maybe even later, I constantly hear from our seniors how much the Y means to them and how much the friendships that grew here are part of their lives. You know, and I can't imagine my life without the Y. I grew up going to the Y every single day after school in Anderson, Indiana. My brother and I would go in daily, shoot hoops, go splash in the pool, and I distinctly remember having to hustle every single day, zip down to the locker room, take a quick shower, get changed, because we had to be standing outside of the Y ready for my mom to pick us up so we weren't late for dinner. And you didn't want to be late. You know, but those are some of the most fond memories I have. And for many in our community, your generosity is what allows them to have a lifetime of Y stories. And regardless of if your gift is large or small, what we can never lose sight of is that for the recipient, it's the beginning of a Y story. You know, and that's why Y for All exists. It exists to ensure that everyone in our beautiful and caring community has access to the programs, the friendships, and the wellness opportunities that our Y offers. So folks, thank you. Thanks for joining us online. Thanks for your generosity, and enjoy the rest of the gala.
Just a reminder that our auction closes tonight at 8. What a great way to help support our cause by bidding on an item. We have so much great stuff to offer, from vacation packages to artwork to sports memorabilia to many, many gift cards. There's something for everyone. Before our first featured speaker, I want to tell you about an interactive giveaway we are doing. In the next 10 minutes, leave a comment on our most recent Facebook post at facebook.com/Monroe County YMCA. All you need to do is pick a color, green, red, or blue, and comment the color of your choice. You could win a fantastic prize. You'll learn more soon. I'd now like to introduce our first featured speaker to tell her incredible YMCA story, Sue Reynolds.
Hi everyone, my name is Sue Reynolds. It is a pleasure to be able to chat with you a little bit this evening. When Matt asked me to share a little bit about my story, I was thrilled. The YMCA has been a big part of my journey, and I'm just honored to be able to tell you a little bit about that. So I thought I'd share some photos. So let me do that. So we'll bring those up. Very good. And good. So here's my journey in a nutshell. In 2012, I weighed 335 pounds. I was morbidly obese. Over a 4-year period, lost 200 pounds and went from being terribly unfit to being fit enough that I qualified to represent the United States at the World Triathlon Championship. So it's been a whirlwind of a journey, and I'm just thrilled. So a lot of times when I start telling people my story, I get the question, what made you want to lose weight? I had been obese for decades, and I got to the point where I just got so tired of all the things that I couldn't do because of my size. I couldn't fit in a restaurant booth. I couldn't get through a turnstile. Couldn't even put my own shoes on. So I just thought enough and decided to make different choices. In terms of food, I transitioned to a whole foods program. It wasn't a diet. It was something that I planned to do the rest of my life. Basically, I was just eating healthy. And in terms of in terms of exercise, I just started walking. So my first walk was to the neighbor's driveway. It was about 100 meters and back. But when you're morbidly obese, that was tough. That was hard to do. And just started walking a little bit more every day. And finally got to the point where I could walk for 3 miles and decided to enter a 5K where I would walk it. And what happened there is I fell in love with the endurance community. There is so much kindness, so much mutual support for everyone. It's just such a happy place with everybody helping everyone. I just fell in love with the endurance community. Did several more 5Ks. Then added a spin class and then a water aerobics class. And it finally occurred to me that maybe I could do a triathlon. Never thought I would do one, but it gave purpose to my exercise, which made exercise more fun. So, but then I found that I could do all the distances in a sprint triathlon. So signed up for my first one and got there, had not a clue what I was doing and was absolutely terrified. But I learned to say to myself, go away fear. And that's something I've taken with me throughout this journey. When fear gets in the way, I just look at that fear and say, go away fear. And same thing with pride. I was finding that pride was stopping me a lot. And so I would just look at my pride and say, go away. I'm not going to let you interfere with what I want to do. And in this case, I didn't want to be in public in my bathing suit. You can see I'm still morbidly obese, and that was terrifying. I had to say, go away, pride, take off my cover up and stand there in my bathing suit and tell myself, go away, pride. So the triathlon went really well. I dog paddled part of the swim, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to go fast in a tri. Took my time in transition, rested in the transition, ate a sandwich. I even brushed my hair. But I finished. And that was the most wonderful feeling in the world. I came across the finish line with one finger in the air. Even though I came in dead last, in my mind, I was number one. I felt like I'd won the Olympics. I mean, it was a fabulous feeling. So did several more tries, and it just occurred to me that why can't I train like an elite? I knew I was a beginner. I'm 60 years old. I know I'm never going to be an Olympian. But I started thinking, why can't I get serious about training and train like I'm an Olympian? So I had a coach at that time. Some of you may recognize him, Brant Baylor. He's a personal trainer at the Y. And I went to Brant and said, is there any reason why I can't train like an elite triathlete, even though I'm a total beginner? And Brant said, let's go for it, to his credit. So we became, both of us, all in, no excuses, whatever it takes, find a way. We worked our tails off for the next year to really train as though I were an elite triathlete, although I was a beginner. But what happened is all that hard work paid off. The next summer at the national championship, I did qualify for Team USA, and I qualified for the World Championship representing the United States. And that was just an amazing feeling. So now we had one more year to get ready for Worlds, and we went to Worlds, and it was the most amazing experience to be able to wear the same uniform that our Olympians wear, to meet the best triathletes and compete against them from all over the world in my age group. It was just amazing. So, and I was, so pleased with my finish. I finished 11th in the world. I had the fastest bike split in the world in my age group, and it was just a surreal experience to think, 4 years before that, I couldn't even tie my own shoes because I was so obese. And to get here and represent the United States in something athletic was incredible. Since then, I've continued to qualify for the Sprint World Championship. The best I've done is 6th and First American, and that was incredible. And then last year, I also qualified for the Ironman 70.3 World Championship, so that was a thrill. Yeah, so I guess my message really is that anything is possible. It just takes the courage to take the first step, and then the perseverance to take a lot of small little steps after that over a period of time. It's just, I really do believe that anything is possible. And if you want to follow up with me or reach out to me, my website has all my contact information on it. And I've also, the Y encouraged me to write about my journey. And we started out with a blog. It ended up being a book that came out a couple months ago. It's available on Amazon. So if you want to read my whole story, it's the Athlete Inside. So, and if you want to get started in triathlon or any endurance sport, there's a wonderful group at the Y, very supportive people, a lot of beginners in the group, but also some very extremely accomplished triathletes. So it's a really good mix of people that all support each other. So if that's something you're interested in, that'd be a great group for you. Okay, I'm gonna close this out. And very good. So yeah, so just to close, I really, again, appreciate the Y so much. And I really encourage everybody to go after those dreams. Anything is possible. And, if I can lose 200 pounds and go from obesity to the world championship, you can do whatever your dream is. So thanks so much. And I look forward to seeing y'all at the Y.
Thanks, EFC. We appreciate your support. Thanks, Boston Scientific. We appreciate your support.
Okay guys, we got 3 teams, the red team, the blue team, and the green team. You're each going to shoot one of those rockets as close to the hula hoop as you can get. The team that's the closest wins the contest and wins prizes for people that are cheering for them at the gala. So this is super important, okay? Good luck. 1, 2, 3.
Yes!
We are so honored to have our 3 former executive directors with us this evening, sharing something they're proud of from their years of service at the Y.
Hi, I'm Tom Porter. I was the first executive director of the Monroe County YMCA physical building that we all know today on Winslow Road. And I was fortunate enough to pick up the baton and carry Bill Cook and the board of directors' vision forward. What I'm most proud of is the original design. This is actually a picture that Bill Cook and the board presented to me when I left the Y to come to California, where I was hired to do a similar kind of venture for the Pacific Palisades Malibu YMCA. And you can see here this first 30,000 square feet of the Monroe County Y, followed by, here are the original, a set of the original plans that I was fortunate enough, I'm so glad that I made a copy for myself. And it was a good thing because I was not so long ago asked to, if I had a set of the plans because unfortunately the original plans must have been destroyed in one of the renovations, upgrades. That's what I'm most proud of, is the fact that the community of Bloomington, Indiana embraced this first 30,000 square feet when we were told that no one would come. Over 5,000 members came within the first months of opening. So thank you to Bloomington for continuing to expand and take care of what was started by an incredible visionary, Bill Cook, the board members who I had the opportunity to work with, and the fact that it was a need and the community of Bloomington took it to heart and made it their own. Thank you. Love to all.
Hello, my name is Marlene Vass, and I worked at the YMCA from 1980 to 1999. During that time, I wore a lot of different hats and had different jobs. But in 1986, I became executive director. And at that time, there were several things that happened that made me smile and gave me pride. One of those was working with a committee of the board of directors and some staff to develop a gifts and endowment fund for the future of the YMCA. That was done. We enjoyed working together and felt good about the accomplishment. That fund is still in place today and still very strong. So I hope that you will consider supporting it and supporting the Y now and in the future. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Roberta Kelzer, and I work at the YMCA for 28 years, the last 15 of which I was the executive director. There were lots of highlights and challenges throughout those years. What impacted me the most was the people walking through those doors, the volunteers, the staff, the members themselves. It was amazing to meet people of such diverse backgrounds and interests and expertise and passion, working together, exercising together, volunteering and supporting each other. It was a really interconnected community that supported us through those years. This was their YMCA, and the generosity, the kindness, the patience, that ownership is what carried us through those highs and those challenges. I'm still so grateful to this day. I'm excited to celebrate 40 years of Y Impact in this community, and I feel confident that together we can ensure its future. Thank you.
Thanks, Miss Bell, for letting people be members from the Y. Thanks, Baxter. Thanks for helping Monroe Academy.
We are getting down to the final moments for our auction. Remember, all items close at 8. After our final speaker tonight, we'll have another contest, so stay tuned. For now, I'd like to welcome our current YMCA Board of Directors President, Kit Klingelhofer.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kit Klingelhofer, and I'm President of the Board of your YMCA. First, I'd like to take the opportunity tonight to thank Jason and his staff for everything that they've done over the last 7 months. We've all been through difficult times, and certainly the Y has had many challenges. We had to do a shutdown, we had to do a reopening. There's been many, many days of planning. Things have changed on the fly, virtual on a everyday basis. And they've put in incredible long hours to try to make the Y as accessible to all of our customers they possibly can. We all owe them a great deal of thanks and gratitude. Secondly, I'd like to thank the sponsors to tonight's event. Our gold level sponsors, CFC, Cook Medical, and IU Credit Union. Our silver level sponsors are Baxter, Boston Scientific, the Funeral Chapel, Smithville. Our bronze level sponsors are Bloomington Oral Surgery, Catalent, Comprehensive Financial Consultants, Republic Services, Syngoda Solutions, Rob and Missy Santa. And our supporting level sponsors, Bill C. Brown Associates, Bloomington Meadows Hospital, Cardinal Spirits, Commercial Service, First Financial Bank, French Lick Resort, German American Bank, Green and Schultz Trial Lawyers, Jimmy John's, Christy Gibbs at KG Realty, Old National Bank, Dr. and Mrs. James LaFollette, Dr. John and Gada Laban, Marcy and Carl Cook. So again, tonight I would like to thank all of our sponsors for this amazing event and all the individuals who support the YMCA over the course of this year and many years past. At this time, I would like to introduce fellow board member, Missy Santa.
Hello, my name is Missy Santa. I'm a member of the Monroe County YMCA Board as well as a member of the WISE Gala Planning Committee. I want to thank the committee for doing a wonderful job planning the gala this year in the face of many challenges. They are responsible for so many of the fantastic auction items and sponsors we have as a part of our event. Special thanks goes out to Nicole Freeman, Shelby Humphrey, Amelia Lawn, Angela Martin, Macy Mulvaney, Kim Rudolph, Tanya Sullivan, Nancy Robleski, Jody Baker, and Sean Sand. Now is the time to fund a need. Through the app, you can click on Fund a Need and choose one of the pre-selected amounts or enter your own customized amount. If you aren't comfortable with the app, please feel free to call the Y at the number on the screen. Let's get started. Who will change lives tonight by funding a need in our Monroe County community? A $20,000 donation transforms the lives of 20 kids with adventure, laughter, and lifelong memories during an entire summer of Y Camp. For $15,000, we can give 19 families the opportunity to grow healthy together, play together, and strengthen their bonds with Y membership. $10,000 to our endowment will make you a Heritage Club member and help the YMCA continue to serve the community for another 40 years. $5,000 changes the lives of 6 single-parent families through a full year membership that will allow them to experience the transformative programs and community of the Y. For just $2,500, 5 seniors can receive annual memberships, giving them the chance to participate in the Y's life-saving cancer and cardiac rehab programs. A donation of $1,500 helps teach lifelong skills like leadership and good sportsmanship to 25 kids through Y Youth Sports programs. Giving $1,000 will send 10 children to a week of our Into the Wild camp, where they learn not only to appreciate the outdoors, but learn wilderness and survival skills. A $500 gift will allow 7 people to celebrate strength they never knew they had in group exercise classes. $200 will change the life of an adult who needs support attending our weight loss program, Moving for a Healthier You. And for just $100, you can help save a child's life by a scholarship to swim lessons. Tonight, every donation matters. Last year, nearly 1,400 families received financial assistance to participate in a program or become a member because of our donors' generosity. Thank you for being a part of the WISE cause.
Thanks, Funeral Chapel. Thanks for making Bloomington a great place.
We'd like to welcome our next 2 speakers, former Indiana University men's basketball players, with a message about the Y and helping our community.
Hey everybody, my name is Jared Jeffries. Born and raised in Bloomington, Indiana. IU basketball player, former NBA player. And being from this town, it's organizations like the YMCA that make this place so great. So please consider giving to the Y for All Scholarship Fund and keep this town going the way that it is. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Mike Roberts, assistant coach with Indiana University men's basketball. As a coach, mentor, and longtime member of the Monroe County community, I'd just like to take a moment to ask everyone on here to please strongly consider making a contribution to the Y for All Scholarship Fund. For me personally, I'm a young man that grew up active in the YMCA in the community that I'm from. I think the Y is a place that provides, a great resource to young people, whether it's lessons, team sports, things of that nature. And more importantly than that, just, allows a place for people to be active and hopefully maintain a healthy lifestyle. And I think especially in these challenging times related to COVID, that's more important than ever. So once again, just like to ask everyone to please, if you're able to, please make a contribution to the Y for All Scholarship Fund. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker has been a longtime friend of the Y. He was there for the initial groundbreaking, served 2 terms on the YMCA board, once as board president. Please welcome Chairman of the Cook Group, Steve Ferguson.
I've been asked to discuss the early days of the YMCA. And as you all know, this is the 40th year for the YMCA. To do that, I think we need to drop back to Canton, Illinois, and the time when Bill Cook was growing up there. And he used the YMCA and used it because of a scholarship. And that's one of the reasons that the scholarships have been so important throughout the history of the YMCA. Now, if you fast forward to the late 70s, and Bill's had heart bypass surgery, and had had a tremendous interest in following up with what rehab should be and what people should do for their cardiovascular health. Even brought Kenneth Cooper, who is really the father of exercise physiology in the cardiac area, to Bloomington to speak a few times. And in that connection, Bill believed that what we needed was a YMCA. The YMCA could do several things. Number one, it was supposed to be a family, health, and exercise facility. 2, it was to bring the community together so that people from all walks of life, all races, all religions, all generations came together in a central spot to get to know each other. Because once we know each other, then that makes for a stronger community. And so those were 2 main goals. When we started looking at that, and you can see on the board there 2 of the early meetings, and if you note, one of them was held at Indiana University, and so that was really sort of the beginning. Indiana University also had a YWCA that had been here during the 20s and 30s and 40s on the Bloomington campus. We actually went to see Inez Harless, who was one of the last surviving members, and they actually transferred, as I recall, $12,000 to the Y as we became a Y, not a YWCA or YMCA. So following those early days, then we moved to, and you can see the house that was the early office of the, for the YMCA. And that's in the background. And at that point, the activities were outreach activities that were done in other, organized by the Y, but done in other parts of the community. Following that, and Bill's vision was that we would actually build a Y. Now, when we started to build a Y, we had several things. Bill had several things, and we had several things in mind. One, it was supposed to be a family exercise facility, not really in the traditions of the YMCA, where you had rooms, you had hangout areas, you had other recreational activities and basketball courts and et cetera. But this was to be an exercise facility. You came, you exercised. It was a place the whole family could come and being engaged in exercise, and especially cardiovascular exercise. So as we started, there was a question of design, and as I say, we looked at in New York, Chicago, Fort Wayne, Texas, all across the country, but we didn't see anything that really fit what the vision was. And Bill found up by Chicago a privately held facility that was a privately, it was a for-profit exercise facility. And he said, you gotta go up and look at it because this is just what we want to do. And so once we saw that, we knew what direction we were going. The second thing, it was sort of a part of the lore of the YMCA, was you had a subsidiary of the Y who did a study for us of how much money you raise, how much people would give, whether it be supported. And then the second part of it was they had a second company that would do the architectural designs. And I can remember clearly being on the conference room on the second floor of the Cochran House, and the Y made their presentation. After they did the presentation and they talked to people throughout the community, their conclusion was you couldn't raise the money, that people would use the Hyper building so that it wouldn't be used. And so that was their conclusion. We looked at the plans that they provided, and we thanked them for coming. And then after they left, Bill picked up the plans, walked over to the wastebasket, threw them away, and said, okay, now let's build a Y. And that was the start of the actual movement towards building the Y and raising the money to do so. Next question is, where are you going to build it? And we looked all over Bloomington, and one day we looked out north and we looked west and south. One day Bill pulls in my law office, I'm there, and he says, come with me, we're going to go look at the site I found for the Y. So we went down Winslow Road, and you know where the Y is now, and the Batesville fields, and there was a road in there, and the fields were there, and then it ended with a dirt road, but that didn't bother Bill. And by the way, he was in a loaner from Curry Buick Cadillac, and he didn't let a few piles of dirt stop him from getting back to where he wanted to go. And we got back there, and you all know how the Y sits down in the valley. Well, that was an area which had been growing up with brush and briars and various things. So Bill's down there driving us around this, saying, this is the site. And I finally said, hey, Bill, you know, you're going to tear this car up. And Bill said, the car, we're building a Y. And so that was the start. Now, if you look at the picture there, and it's Frank McCoskey, who was mayor of Bloomington, Bill standing behind, and I'm there in the picture. It was an important relationship because Frank McCoskey was very supportive of what we were doing for the Y, and we needed that connection between Highland Avenue and Winslow Road. And so he was instrumental, along with Bill Finch, in getting that connector built to provide that access that we needed to the site for the YMCA. And then secondly, when you look after it and you're doing the design, if you look at that design, much of it sort of looks like it's, and if you look at the original even more, it looked like a factory. And one of the reasons for that, I kept thinking, well, we've got 250 members. When I look at the projected operational costs, et cetera, it's going to take 2,500 members, and there's quite a gap there. In the back of my mind is what they found with the Y survey that showed that people wouldn't use it. So I was confident but cautious, and so I kept thinking, well, if we can't, if the Y becomes a white elephant, we can always put a manufacturing facility in here. And so that led us to part of the design, but also to get open space for basketball courts and et cetera. As I noted before, there was no things for youth sports, for a lobby for people to hang out, for games, because what the point was that you have an exercise facility. People come, they exercise, they leave, and that leaves you, doesn't affect your capacity because people are turning over, and so you don't get people grouped there for a longer period of time. So the fact that people came, exercised, and left was a lot of our thoughts in the original design. After the Y opened, of course, we easily hit 2,500 and then moved up to 11,000 head count, last I heard. So it's been a significant success and one of the important facilities in Bloomington. the other important connection there was with the catheterization lab at the Bloomington Hospital, and combined with that was a cardiac rehab that Bill put in. And an important part of that connection was that the Y could be that facility for people that had heart instances, could come in and be part of a routine that became cardiac rehab. Having gone through that myself, it's one of the great programs that we have available in Bloomington. So as we move forward and we looked at where we are now, we've got 40 years behind us, which is, if you think of the organizations that you know that have been around 40 years, it's remarkable, and the success that the Y has had. And that's been because of the continual leadership and involvement of the community. But everybody has to step up and recognize the importance of the Y to the youth of the community, to the health of the community, to the seniors of the community, and to all of us. It just is a tremendous benefit, and it's one of our major assets. If you talk about Bloomington, one of the things that you're going to mention is Indiana University, and you're going to also mention the YMCA, and it's significant, but it costs money to keep it going. And so I ask that everybody continue to support the Y as we have in the past, and continue to support it so we have another 40 years of enjoyment. Thank you for all we do. I hope you enjoy the Y, and we look forward to another 40 years. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone you saw as part of our program tonight. Getting to hear stories and see the passion for both the community and the Y has been truly inspiring. I also want to thank all of you who were able to watch tonight. Those of you who were able to make a donation or bid on an auction item. You are truly setting up the Y for another successful 40 years. Before we go, we have one last contest. All you need to do is share a photo of yourself and the Y logo on our post about the selfie contest on our Monroe County YMCA Facebook page. The logo can be on a t-shirt, on a magnet, on a flyer. Anything you have with the logo will earn you an entry for a prize. Make sure you post your picture by 8:15 p.m. and we'll announce the winner soon after. Thanks again for all you've done to make the Monroe County YMCA and our community such an amazing place. Good night.